Hi, I'm Sierra with Corefact, and this is a monthly check-in for our referring partners exclusively. Please don't send your agents to this event because I'm going to be talking to the people that are working with agents. Although if you're an agent, we're happy to have you. This is just not necessarily directed to you. And we're hoping to spend 20 minutes or less on each of these. We'll be doing these once a month, covering different topics. And I did post a little survey. If you are joining, you can do this at any time during the presentation, but I'd love to hear from you what you would like these topics to cover. If there are topics you'd like to see, if you've been using the referring partner toolkit, maybe what you would like to see in there, and then how we can help you. The goal of all this, as we talked about in the past and ongoing, is we want to support the agents that we mutually work with in helping them create listings, market listings, do more transactions, because that's when we all win. So how can we help you, help them, help us, help them? Help you, help us, help them. All right, so today's topic, for your agents that say, I want to stand out, I want to be different. Corefact is primarily template based. If you're familiar with our site, and I'm going to jump into our Jessica Sellers account here. If you're familiar with our site, we have templates that can be customized. And so they can customize those quite a bit, but different ways that we can help them stand out. Number one, if you haven't seen our foil and varnish line of products yet, I'm going to start with that one because this is really a way, and I've got a live one here, although it's going to be hard with my green screen there. This is the number one way that we are seeing agents do something different because it's brand new. No one in their marketplace is offering something like this. It is adding a layer of texture and foil to the pieces. And you can do this as inexpensively as on a single postcard. And so this would be a layer of foil on a postcard. Or what we're really seeing everyone get really excited about are these presentation kits. And while I'm talking, I'm going to let this video, if you've worked with or know Chio Saley on our team, this is him actually opening this up and showing you the pieces. But why these stand out, number one, people aren't doing it. People aren't putting this level of effort and quality into their marketing presentation. So when you go to a client presentation with these materials, you're going to be remembered more just because of the quality of it. But really, the company that we bought this machine from, they did a study and they were able to ascertain that the retention, the memory retention, when you add texture, and this is actually textured, it's raised up. So if you think of something that's embossed and pushed from the bottom so that it creates that bumpiness, that is the effect, except it's not pushing up, it's layering. So you can actually do it on both sides. You don't lose the reverse side like you would with embossing. But when something has that additional texture to it, it has a 3 times more memorability. It's remembered 3 times more than something that's flat. And this goes with, soft touch or bumpiness or texture, anything like that, because you're engaging another level of senses. It's not just sight. When it's flat, it's sight. I mean, you're touching it, so it is a little bit physical, but that extra texture just helps it be so much more memorable. And all of these pieces, just a word about these presentation kits, all of these pieces are ordered a la carte. So we do not have a full kit to be ordered. That way the agents can mix and match. I mean, it's like bikinis, right? You pick your top, you pick your bottom, and then you get the perfect bikini. Men, you may not relate. Women, you know what I'm talking about. And so you're going to choose maybe you only want the folders and you're going to put your own stuff in there. Maybe you only want the folders and the dividers, and then you put your own stuff in there. Maybe you just want the buyer's guide or the seller's guide. Each of these are available in quantities of 25, and you're going to mix and match. The agents will mix and match based on what they're looking for. This piece right here, you saw in the little video, but it is a flood varnish. So those pieces are just flooded with that glossy varnish and they're gorgeous. This element on the top, this logo or texture is repeated. We've had people ask, could that be my logo? And the answer is yes. So we're going to get into custom here in a minute. So number one way to stand out is using foil and varnish, using texture, using your sense of or touch to really stand out. Number two is I want to point out our designs with Elite. So often we'll see when a brokerage sends us designs that the brokerage is the primary point of focus on those designs, and the agent is like a little headshot in a box. So, for example, if you look at some traditional marketing pieces we have here, this is our local expert series, and they're great because the content is great and they're easy to edit, and the agent is in this little, we call it headshot in a box. But when you compare that to our Elite series, and I think you all are all familiar with Elite, but the idea here is Elite really promotes the agent. And so versus the headshot in a box, which was this tiny little square in the bottom right-hand corner, the agent is now the primary focus of this mailing piece. And the way Elite works is it is a $399 one-time setup. And then they become an Elite member and they get access to all of our Elite designs. They get a just listed, just sold card, and that's able to renew year after year with no additional cost. It's free renewal, and it just goes as long as they want to keep paying for the cards each month to go out. But look at the branding. So again, agents who want to stand out, instead of using maybe their corporate designs where it's going to be more of a headshot in a box, the Elite designs are really going to make the agent stand out a little bit more. So if you hear that, I want to stand out, I want to be different, I don't want to do what everyone else is doing, this is a great one. A Corefact series that we have that is no additional charge that really promotes the agent is this agent announcement card too. So this is more for an agent that is either new to the business or maybe they're associating with a new brokerage and so they're announcing their move. But look at these designs as far as how they make the agent stand out. And if you look at the percentage of the card that they're taking up, it's like a third of the card versus that other one you saw where it was like a little headshot in a box. So again, ideas for you to share with your agents who are looking to really stand out. So this is under postcards and agent announcements. Okay, so agents who are maybe a little more creative and are looking to maybe create their own designs. They don't want to use templates. They want to stand out and they're just going to create their own designs. Great. They can actually use our upload section here to create something externally. If they're a professional designer or working with a graphic artist, maybe they're working in InDesign, a lot of people feel very comfortable using Canva. Canva is a very user-friendly design platform, and many agents are even designing content themselves through Canva, and then they can come to Corefact and upload the pieces here. If they choose to do that, if you go into our Academy section and just type Canva here, we actually posted an article recently talking about best practices for exporting from Canva into Corefact, because when you're creating digitally and your end result is print, we want to make sure that we're getting the right setup and the right print format. So we want to make sure that we're using CMYK, not RGB. Don't worry about all that, but this would be an article that you can share with them or just remind them that is available so that they are exporting from Canva with the best setup to make their piece look the best when they upload it into Corefact. And if we go back into Corefact and look at all the different products that they can upload, it's everything from postcards, flyers, brochures, perfect bound books, hardcover books, Unibind, booklets, stationery, mailers, door hangers, signs. All of that could potentially be created externally from Corefact if they don't want to use our Corefact templates, and then they can upload them to really stand out if they have access or are working with a designer. One recommendation, we've seen this a lot, is this is one of our most popular ways to use upload. This is our upload postcard section. We have this upload jumbo in which they are uploading both the front and the back of the postcard design. But what we recommend and think is a great best practice is to upload only the front. Why would we do that? Well, they're going to get their own custom, standout, completely different front design that they've come up with on their own. And then on the back, they can utilize the Corefact tracking capability of either the home estimate QR code or a trackable URL that they've provided. And so when we are generating the back of the card, then we are going to add that trackability. So in that way, it's almost the best of both worlds. They're going to get a completely custom standout front, and then they're going to have the Corefact trackability with the QR code on the back. The other reason I like this, using the Corefact back instead of their own back, is making sure that the postal areas are not covered. Sometimes we'll get people uploading a postcard back and they've covered an area with design that needs to be left open for a return address or barcode or something along those lines. And so this just makes it so much easier for the agent to place that order and not have to worry about where those elements need to appear. We've gotten postcards returned for having the pieces in the wrong place, or maybe if the return address is too low, they think that's the delivery address. So it can be a little confusing if the postal areas are not perfectly placed. So that's why we also like this one. So going back into upload, I am going to share something that's brand new. So you are going to see this. I think we've soft launched it, but we haven't sent out anything about it. So those of you on this call are seeing something that we haven't even told people about. And it's very exciting and I love it a lot. I was playing with it yesterday. On the upload section of Corefact, specifically here in the flyers and brochures, this is where we're starting with this V2 editor. And this will be made available over the coming months for all of our upload pieces, but it's an enhanced template editor. If you've ever worked with our templates or do anything with our templates, you can see our editor is a little clunky and can have room for improvement. And we are offering that enhanced version with this new V2 editor. So I'm going to show you how this works and give you a little preview of it. I'm actually going to do a 2-in-1 here because I'm going to upload something that I want to talk about while I'm showing you the editor. So in the past, if you were going to upload a product for Corefact, you would simply attach the file and you wouldn't be able to add anything to it or play around with it or see that your crops and bleeds or really do anything with it. Now you're able to upload a file and really play with it. So I'm going to go into my files here and I'm going to grab the Corefact Q2 promos for our title referring partners, because I'm going to talk about this. So if you were not on last month's call, we launched something that we're super excited about. We're going to do it Q2, maybe Q3, but these are exclusively for you to use for your agents. Questions came up, is this only for new agents? No, existing agents that you've referred in the past, agents that you refer tomorrow, anyone that you refer can use these codes. And I will send all of you who are attending this, or even if you're watching this in the future recorded, I will send this PDF to you so you have it. But these are only available for the accounts that you refer through your referring mechanism. These do not apply if their account was created at corefact.com. So they're only available to you. So that's number one. But this is a great piece that you can share with them. Please use it to get appointments with clients, to touch base with them. Hey, I've got some great codes coming up. Let me meet with you. Let's get coffee. Let's talk about your business. These are great conversation starters for you to share with them. This one right here, 25 free and 25, they get 25 free double-sided flyers with UV coding free. Free. You're giving them on behalf of Corefact. I mean, Corefact's giving it to them, but through you, 25 free flyers. That's a win. That's a really, really great thing to be able to give them. Okay, but I've got my flyer in here, and now you can see I can add a QR code. Now this is a flyer, so it's not going to be a trackable QR code, but it would just direct them to, my website.com, and there it is. And then I can come and, shrink it and drag it. Those of you that are familiar with editing tools, you can see that this is a lot more user-friendly than the one we had before. I can zoom in, I can zoom out. It's got inches, grids. It's going to show me where my bleed and cuts are going to be. So I'm able to see that. If I uploaded maybe an 8.5 by 5.5 to this 8.5 by 11 piece, it would show me that it's not the right size. And then I've got access to a whole bunch of images. So let's say I wanted to, add a house. Look, I could, put in a house on my brochure. And just like, a Canva would work. Now I think I grabbed too many, but that's how it would work here. Oh, that didn't work. Let me try that again. All right. I don't know. This is beta. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's the system. But also graphics. If we went into house here, it's going to show me a whole bunch of houses. There we go. The graphics are working. The photograph, maybe not. I got to work on that one a little bit. But you can see it's very user-friendly, very easy to work with. So we've got that custom upload section. Again, for your agents who are looking to stand out. While I'm talking about different promotions, the May 1st or the May promo code that you can all share is Move Up 5. MOVEUP5. So that is the May promo code. We're on May 1st today. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is maybe they don't have access to a designer, but maybe they would like to use Corefact as their designer. We do have custom design available. So they look at our templates and they say, I want to stand out. I want to do something totally different. I've got kind of an idea. I'm not really exactly sure what I want it to be, but I want to do it like way different than any of the templates you have. These are our costs for custom design services. So our designers will create pieces for them. Templates are going to be pieces that they'll refer to over and over again. So it's the layout that maybe they just want to change the wording or the photography from time to time and they want to reuse that layout. We can post that so that they're not having to come to us every time they want to use that layout, which is very cool. Or they could just use a design and post it and use it one time. Consultations, if we are working with them, maybe they don't know what they want, we need to discuss with them and brainstorm with them and really work with them maybe to create a logo or a layout. That would be at $99 an hour here. So if they are interested in custom work, they can reach out to custom design at corefact.com or just reach out to your CX person or CS and we can refer you over to custom design. So that is available as well. And that is, I did it in under 20 minutes. That's what I wanted to cover today as far as our ways to help your agent do something different. Actually, I'll show you, before I drop off, I'm going to show you an example of, thought I downloaded this, where did I put it? Nope, desktop. This one. Okay. So here's an example of one that our team worked on for a team with Coldwell Banker. They wanted a whole bunch of different logos. And then if you look at the inside, it was a proof of production piece and they wanted them all arranged in there. We didn't have any templates that quite matched this. So the product is just an 11 by 17 fold over piece, but they wanted some specific design elements to it that they weren't easily able to achieve on our templates. This is also a mailer. So then they were able to add a mailing component to it. So this would be folded and then folded again, but just an example of what our custom design team can help put together for your agents. Okay, 10:19, I did it under time. I'm going to stop sharing. I will stay on and answer questions. If you've been typing questions as I've been talking, I have not been looking at them, but I will stop and look at them now. If you have all your questions answered, feel free to drop off and I will send out this recording and any referred to documents. And if you want some questions answered, go ahead and stay on. All right. Thank you everyone for joining. Hope that was helpful. Thanks for being here. Bye.